Hello and welcome back to the Technology Connect AI channel of video podcasts. My name is Tom Dissing. I'm the founder and managing director of Technology Connect, a Sydney-based advisory firm enabling companies to use AI to drive business value. And today I'm joined by my co-host, Martin Stubbs-Race, who is also an expert in driving business value with AI. Welcome, Martin.
Thank you, Tom. Great to be here again.
So, Martin, over the last 6 to 9 months, equity markets have sent a clear signal. Share prices of many large SaaS platforms have fallen. For example, ServiceNow, Salesforce, Adobe, and many IT service providers, for example, TCS, Wipro, Infosys. At the same time, capital has rotated into companies that own and operate data centers, manufacture hardware storage, AI chips. This is not random market volatility. This reflects a growing belief that enterprises will not need as many human users or as many transactions flowing through traditional SaaS platforms. And similarly for system integrators, SIs, companies no longer need these organizations for long implementations or years of ongoing maintenance support. So what seems to be happening is that the market is anticipating the organizations are beginning to build and run their own AI agents to execute work, reduce costs, regain control of how their digital operations run. So we'll explore what this means for CFOs, chief operating officers, chief AI officers, and transformation leaders, and how agentic AI can be used as a practical, defensible lever for IT cost out without recklessly ripping out core platforms. So Martin, you've spent 20 plus years working at global SaaS platform companies as a business value expert, not an investment advisor. Why do you think that SaaS share prices are falling so heavily right now?
Well, Tom, markets are pricing in a structural shift. SaaS revenue models are built on human users and transaction volume. Agentic AI changes that equation fundamentally. When AI agents perform work autonomously, organizations need fewer licenses and fewer paid transactions. At the same time, those agents still require compute, storage, and inference capacity, which is why capital is flowing toward data centers and AI hardware. But here's what I think is often missed in that conversation. It's not just that AI agents are replacing users. It's that organizations haven't yet turned off the old stack. They're running both. The AI spend is going up. The SaaS spend hasn't come down yet. And a lot of that AI consumption is sitting in what I call gray IT, with no real oversight. The market is essentially betting that discipline will eventually arrive, that CFOs and CIOs will rationalize the incumbent portfolio as agents prove their value. The SaaS platforms know this, which is why they're racing to embed AI into their own product. But the message is clear. The era of pricing per seat, per user, per transaction is under structural pressure. We've moved from SaaS utilization problem to a token consumption problem. And most organizations haven't built the financial operations capability to manage either one well yet, but harder to see and a lot easier to ignore. With SaaS, you have a contract renewal moment. You have a conversation forced upon you.
So Martin, you talk about organizations are moving from SaaS utilization problem to a token problem. How should executives think about token consumption as a new cost category? And what does good FinOps look like in this context?
Yeah, think of tokens as the new license fee, but harder to see and a lot easier to ignore. With SaaS, you had a contract renewal moment. You had a conversation forced upon you. Tokens, they accumulate silently, and before you know it, you're carrying a permanent cost that no one owns. I've seen this before. We did it with cloud compute. We did it with SaaS sprawl. And we're about to do again with AI if we're not careful. Good FinOps has capability built in from day one. Real-time monitoring, forecasting, spend accountability at the team level, not bolted on 6 months later when the CFO asks why the AI bill is out of control. The organizations that get this right treat token spend the way mature cloud teams treat compute. Guardrails, show back, somebody who owns it, not grey IT, not innovation theatre, accountability.
You raised the concern that AI experimentation quickly becomes grey IT and creates permanent costs. How do you prevent the AI portfolio from repeating the same sprawl problem you mentioned that SaaS creates?
Yes, the same thing that created the SaaS sprawl will create the AI sprawl. lack of intent, lack of accountability. Every AI initiative needs a business owner, not just a technology owner, a real business owner. Someone who can answer what process is changing, what manual steps are disappearing, what systems are now redundant as a result. If you can't answer those questions, you're still in experiment mode. That's okay, but call it what it is, size it accordingly, and have a decision point where you either scale, stop, or pivot. The software portfolio analysis has to happen in parallel. If AI agents are doing work that used to require a SaaS license, that license needs to come out. The two conversations, AI investment and software rationalization, have to happen together, not in separate rooms with separate budgets. Otherwise, you just add a new cost layer on top of the old one. And that's not transformation. That's just more complexity. So Tom, you've got 20 years experience in working with executives in developing business technology and AI strategies whilst transforming and optimizing their operating model. Does this mean companies are abandoning SaaS platforms altogether?
No, it's not a wholesale rip and replace story. Core SaaS platforms will remain systems of record and coordination. The change is that fewer people and fewer manual workflows sit on top of them. AI agents increasingly sit between the business user and the platform, absorbing work that used to require licenses or transactions. Many SaaS solutions have users that only require access a few times a month, or even less. Most of these users are performing very simple tasks such as checking their leave balance or uploading a document, for example, a supplier contract, into the procurement SaaS solution.
Where does IT cost out come from with Agentic AI?
As I see it, cost comes out from three places. First, license rationalization, as agents replace human users for routine work. Second, transaction reduction, as agents batch, optimize, or bypass expensive workflows. And third, contract negotiation leverage. Because once work is decoupled from platforms, buyers increase their negotiation power and flexibility to buy smarter. In this context, it's not uncommon for SaaS pricing to increase 10 to 15% year on year. So a strong negotiation power balance in favor of the buyer can quickly add up to a lot of cost savings or cost avoidance.
Let's dive a bit deeper into this. What type of tasks are most suitable for AI agents today?
It's really high volume, rules-based, repeatable tasks that are ideal. So examples include data reconciliation, contract analysis, service request triage, reporting, exception handling, and cross-system coordination. These are tasks that consume licenses and FTE time, but do not create differentiation when done by humans.
From a cost-out perspective, how do you identify which tasks to target first?
You start with economic friction, not technology. I typically look for areas with high license density, high transaction costs, high manual effort tied to compliance or administration. Then map tasks end to end and isolate steps that can be safely executed by agents with human oversight.
This all sounds very logical, but why then do many IT cost-out programs fail in practice?
They focus on renegotiation without changing the underlying operating model. If the same work still flows through the same platform in the same way, savings are temporary. Agentic AI works because it changes how and by whom work gets done, not just contracts and how they are priced.
How do you reduce IT spend without breaking vendor relationships?
Great question. This is where deep IT contract knowledge really matters. Most SaaS platforms allow flexibility if you understand usage definitions, entitlement structures, and the associated commercial construct. By reducing underlying demand through agents, you create a credible commercial narrative rather than a blunt cost-cutting exercise.
From your perspective, Tom, what are the main risks executives worry about and how are they managed?
The biggest concerns are control, compliance, and resilience. Well-designed agents operate within defined guardrails, produce audit logs, and escalate. This often improves control compared to opaque manual processes spread across multiple platforms.
What should executives do now if they want to get ahead of this shift?
Start by treating Agentic AI as an operating model change, not an innovation experiment. Identify where work can be decoupled from platforms, design agents deliberately, and align commercial strategy, architecture, and governance from day one. This is how IT cost out becomes sustainable rather than a one-off exercise. Well, that turned into a deep conversation. Clearly, the market has spoken.
Yes.
And it's now up to individual executives to use Agentic AI to take cost outs, build internal capabilities, and regain control of their IT. 2026 will no doubt be another year of massive change for all sectors, not least the SaaS providers and systems integrators. Thank you, Martin. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Me too. Thanks, Tom.
And thank you to everyone who has watched or listened to this episode. If your organization wants to explore how to take IT cost out, we would be delighted to explore how to accelerate your journey with you. If you're joining us on YouTube, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us reach more leaders who want to accelerate AI. So wrapping up, this is Tom from Technology Connect. Thank you.